And finally, I think there are just a couple of design points we might be able to improve upon. Like this. Notice how the front wings are really wide and very smooth. In contrast, look at the back wings. They sort of just stop. It's very abrupt and doesn't feel quite as cool as the rest of the car. Maybe a rear bumper and wider wheels will solve this, but check out this one. This has a slight extension at the rear end and, well, it looks pretty damn cool. But this is all up for debate. Maybe we'll even bring back that Countach rear spoiler. Now is the time to really think about this stuff, and you the viewers are going to have the final vote. But one thing's for sure, we want to get this right. Especially before I spend 50 to 100 hours on bodywork, we need a clear direction. Now usually at this point I'd already have the expanding foam out and I'd be carving away at a masterpiece. But for this build I want to do something slightly different. I want to 3D print the body panels. So that means we need to 3D scan this whole car. I've never done anything like this before, so I reached out to RevoPoint, who are a known company for scanners, and I said, would you send me one? And well, they said yes. They sent over their Morocco Plus, which is basically an all-in-one scanner. It's got the scanner, it's got the computer, it's got everything all in one unit. And with something high-tech like this, I had to call my friend Isaac to help teach me the ropes. As Isaac read the instructions, I started pressing buttons, hoping for the best. This thing's pretty crazy seeing as it's an all-in-one system. Apparently you can scan as large as a helicopter. But if you're a beginner, you should probably start small. So we're starting with a car. We did do a little test run on the vent opening and it was super impressive. Having not used something like this at all before and doing it in complete broad daylight, it just started picking up the whole profile of the car and mapping it out. The next thing we did was cover the car in coded targets and markers. These are basically like little landmarks for the scanner to track during scanning. They help trace the movement of the object or the scanner and make it easier for the computer to stitch it all together. You don't actually need to use these, but for something this large it seems sensible. After a few test runs and totally covering the Nova in space age acne, we are about ready to go. Maybe I'm crazy, but I actually thought this looked really, really cool. It was sort of like a cyberpunk livery or a digital camo sort of vibe. But don't worry, it's not staying, even though I sort of want it to. To give you a slightly better idea, the scanner shoots out infrared light or structured light patterns. The targets and the markers are super reflective, which makes the light data more accurate. For the first stage of scanning, I needed to move this into a slightly more shady environment. Ideally, do it inside, but my garage was full. At this moment, I was really regretting buying such a cheap fuel pump. And finally, I put on these scale bars, which helps the scanner understand how big the object truly is and where it sits in space. Now it is finally time to scan the Nova. The first step is to go around the car and capture all of the markers and the point clouds. This basically creates a digital map of all of the markers that we placed on the car. Now you can do this in single shot mode or continuous. I chose continuous. It's basically like walking around videoing the whole thing and it gathers all the